Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
and thank all of you who took the time to do the symbolic walk in the church here. First, I'd like for you to stand so we can do the posting of the colors. And now, would you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? You may be seated. A special thanks to your West Virginia National Guard for the posting of the colors. Martin Luther King Jr. ended his famous I Have a Dream speech with "Let freedom ring." And when it happens, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up the day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the Negro spirituals. Free at last, free at last. Praise God Almighty, we're free at last. Before we do the bell ringing, the first thing we'll do is we'll have a musical selection from the Appalachian Children's Choir. We have a new session in the legislature right now, and I don't know all the new legislators. So anybody who is here with the state legislature, I recognize some of you. Would you please identify yourselves by either standing or raising your hand? We'd like to thank you for supporting this initiative and this program. So again, thank you for being here. We're also very fortunate today to have with us some of our elected national officials. And I'd like to first by offering remarks from the Honorable Shelley Moore Capito, the junior senator from West Virginia.
Thank you, Dr. White, and thank all of you And I want to thank the Appalachian Children's Choir for their beautiful melodies. They are just an incredible resource and just makes us so proud, I think, to be West Virginians. I had my staff ask, I said, give me, we hear a lot of Dr. Martin Luther King's quotes, and I found one that I particularly like, and I'm going to begin with that. Faith is taking the first step when you can't see the whole staircase. And I think that's what we do here in West Virginia quite a lot. Dr. White, thank you for all of your organization, and I heard this morning was a really lovely ceremony. I'm sorry I wasn't able to attend. It's great to be here with Senator Manchin and Congressman Jenkins as well. And I heard Kitty Dooley really ripped it up over there, so please tell her that I heard she did a great job. So today is a special day as we honor and remember Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was a true American icon who fought bravely and tirelessly for freedom and equality in the face of great adversity. He encouraged so many of us to treat others with kindness and to create a better world for future generations. I think Senator Manchin and I could say we need to take that message back to the U.S. Senate ASAP. Today's theme, the color of unity, is a perfect reminder of Dr. King's message. He spoke of celebrating our differences, and he inspired others to join forces to create a better world. So our country is definitely a better place today because of his words and his example. And I hope all West Virginians, I know they will continue to keep those words in mind and try to set better examples, not just for us now, but for our future generation. It's also great to be here as the state commemorates Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, as my father was governor when the legislature joined together to commemorate that day as a state holiday. So it's a source of pride for me and my nephew, who is here with us today as a member of the legislature, for all of us to know the recognition that came late, maybe late in the 80s, but it's long-lasting and everlasting. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Senator Capito. And next, I'd like to bring up another friend of ours and who represents the state of West Virginia, is Congressman Jenkins, please.
Well, thank you very much. Obviously, I wasn't smart enough to wear a coat today. I'm thinking of Richie back here. There's a few of us who, by gosh, it feels pretty good. Thank you so much. What a truly special day. I want you to take just a minute and look at these 4 beautiful faces holding this banner. These are children that didn't live when Martin Luther King Jr. lived. But they're holding a banner of his picture. And they're holding a banner that says, I have a dream. And you know, each one of these God's children have a dream. And it's because of people like Martin Luther King Jr., who charted a course, who created an inspiration, created a vision for the future. And it's these beautiful children who are going to receive, as a result of that incredible vision, that passion, that leadership. So this is about remembering a true hero, somebody who had a vision, who had a dream. But it's about these children who, for their future, have a dream of a better day. And today is an opportunity to tell all about that vision, that dream that Martin Luther King Jr. provided. And we're living it each and every day. So thank you. Let us celebrate his life, celebrate the dream, and celebrate our future. God bless.
Thank you, Congressman Jenkins. And next, I'd like to bring up an old friend of ours also, and our senior senator from the state of West Virginia, Joe Manchin.
Thank you, Bill. Thank all of you for, first of all, those of you who attended the services that we had. It was quite a service, quite the speakers, all the awardees. Michael Pushing received one of the awards today, and it was well deserved. But for all of you who were there, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank Governor Justice for continuing to lead and be a part of this, and Dr. Bill White, to the Holiday Commission, to the local state officials, to Senator Capito, Congressman Jenkins, and all of my state and House members here, our colleagues. Reverend Martin Luther King once said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." Well, let me tell you, it does matter. Everything that we do matters, and everything that we say matters. It can be hurtful and harmful, and it's not something we should ever do intentionally. This country is still the land of opportunity. We have the dreams and the hopes of the whole world. We are the hope of the world. People look to the United States of America, and they lift us up because we have lifted so many up. And they still continue to think that the United States of America and West Virginia is the place to be. When I think about all the people that came to this from this great state of ours who've given so much in the African American community, Katherine Johnson, how long has her heroic deeds gone unnoticed, unanswered, and basically unglorified? I couldn't be more proud. I'm sure that you all, Hidden Figures, the movie, if you haven't seen it, go see it. If you get a chance, buy it. But if it doesn't make you proud to be a West Virginian, proud to have someone. I met John Glenn. I did not serve with John Glenn, but I've heard all the stories. And what he had said, I'm not flying until that smart young lady tells me when to fly. He knew exactly. She could tell him where to go and when to come back. Carter Woodson, an educator, author, and father of the Black History Month, and also Leon Sullivan. So many contributed to this great country. We're going through some troubled times right now, difficult times. It's a troubled world we live in, and it's a divided country. Martin Luther King had the courage to try to bring us together 50 years ago. He gave his life for the cause of freedom. I don't think any of us should ever remember or take this day lightly. You should think basically of the sacrifices that have been made for each one of us. Continue to be made, whether it's around the world defending, the liberty that we enjoy, the freedoms that we take for granted. Some of the young people today don't really realize the sacrifices. They will, and continue. We must speak out. Truth to power. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to speak up when something's wrong. Don't be afraid to say that's not who we are. Some people basically sometimes speak before they think, but I guarantee you there's good in everybody's heart. And we've got to find that goodness in each one of us hearts. And make sure they know how good West Virginia is and how good the United States of America. Our founding fathers. I was watching, and I said at the service, I was watching last night, Madam Secretary. It was a challenging time, and I went out and grabbed the Constitution because I wanted to see the 25th Amendment again, the 4th article, and go through all of the different things that have been brought up. But basically, it's the Constitution. When you think of the founding fathers, that many years ago, that had the promise and had really the hopes and dreams that we could be a model. I talked to Lindsey Graham the other day, and he says the United States is not about race, it's about an idea. It's about the hopes and dreams that everybody has to be everything they possibly could ever dream of being and fulfill that dream in America. Martin Luther King ended his speech. He ended his speech saying, "Let freedom ring." And that's what we're here today. We're going to let freedom ring. We're going to make sure we never forget who we are, the purpose that we serve, and be thankful that you're an American in the greatest country on earth, and also be proud to be a mountaineer of the greatest state in the Union. Okay, thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Manchin. I'd just like to personally acknowledge our governor. He's not here today. He's been having some health issues, but he has been very, very supportive of all that I do. I'm finishing my first year in this job. It's been kind of a challenging year, but whenever things got challenged, or challenging, I was able to sit down with the governor and say, hey, this is what we need. And he says, well, Doc, he calls me Doc. Yeah, well, Doc, if that's what we need, let's do it. So I do want to publicly acknowledge that he has been very supportive. He does believe in what we are doing here. He believes in the Herbert Henderson Office of Minority Affairs, and he also believes in the Martin Luther King Day Celebration Commission. He's always asking how things going. So again, I'm sorry he's not here, but again, know that he is supportive of what we do. When we leave here, we are going to be going over to the Culture Center where the Commissioner and Secretary of Education and the Art, one of our commission members, Gail Manchin, has prepared something to warm us up after being out here in the cold. But before we do that, let's take a few minutes and just kind of pause for a minute and just think about what this bell ringing ceremony might mean to you. Just take about 30 seconds and think about what would you like to do or what would you like to see done. So just about 30 seconds. Okay, so when you get back over to the Culture Center, share some of your ideas with folks. Talk about it. You know, one of the things that we don't do in this nation is we don't talk about the things that challenge us. We try to kind of jump all around them. Well, I think that I've heard Senator Manchin twice in two different venues, here and then also over at the church, where he talks about truth to power. We've got to start thinking that way, folks. This nation is ours. This nation is ours. We have to speak up for what we believe in, whatever that is. We'll speak up. We're not going to all agree, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. We should be able to disagree, because out of disagreement oftentimes comes some of the most powerful things that are supportive of our nation. So let's continue to do that. Young ladies, you may put that banner down right now if you'd like to, because I'd like for you to come back and help grab the ropes. And I'd like to have the people from the choir to come over and come on each side of the rope and grab part of the rope.
Get everybody up
And
there.
then I want my dignitaries.
Yeah, come on, everybody.
Come on
up.
Because of what Martin Luther King believed and how he talked about let freedom ring, most people who celebrate Martin Luther King's birthday do celebrate by having a bell ringing ceremony. So at this time, we'd like, and I always like to have the kids up front because, you know, they are our future. This is for them. This is for our children. This is for us, but it's also for them, for their future. So now, bell ringing events affirm the unity of all people of all races, religions, and nations. And this is a statement that was made directly by Bernice King. I'm trying to filibuster a little bit because I hear people say, get up front, get on the side. I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to touch the rope. Everybody who wants to. And folks, my bell ringers, we're only going to ring that 3 times once I say ring, okay? And we are ready. And let the ringing begin.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you over at the Culture Center.